Hello, this is Raina. Thank you for watching my crochet channel. So Halloween is almost here and we still have a little time to make a few more decorations. So today I will show you how to crochet this cool spiderweb table mat. And I chose these Halloween colors, orange and purple. And these will be nice to put on a table, and I even have a little very sparkly spider crawling around. And what you need for this project is some yarn, medium size, and crochet hook. I'm using Caron Simply Soft black, purple, orange colors, which are perfect for Halloween, and crochet hook size 4. And let's get started to make this spiderweb table mat. And we start this with magic ring, and for that so take the tail of your yarn and put it over your finger this way. Then fold it across the first strand this way. Insert your hook underneath this part here and pull through this strand here. Then yarn over, pull through, and that's our first stitch. Do one more chain, and now this is going to count our first half double crochet. And for my first round I need to do 11 more half double crochets into this ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And now at this point let's pull the yarn tail to tighten the ring like this, and then join with a slip stitch into that second chain that we made in the beginning. Our second round we start with 2 chains and then half double crochet into that same stitch. And now we need to half double crochet twice in each stitch. So we increase in every stitch. So 1, 2 to the next, 1 and 2 to the next, and do this all around. You will have 24 half double crochets. I did my 24 half double crochets, and I will now slip stitch into that second beginning chain and end this second round. For the third round we're going to join the black yarn for the first black ring. Do the slip knot and pull it through that last orange loop and tighten the orange loop with the yarn in the back, and don't cut off the orange yarn because next round is going to be with orange again. And now with the black yarn we're going to single crochet into that same chain, second chain, and now single crochet in each stitch around, once in each, so you'll have 24 black single crochets on third round. And after 24 single crochets, I'm going to slip stitch into that first black and finish this round. And again, I'm not going to cut off the black yarn either. I'm going to keep it here. Next round, number 4, is going to be orange. So let's bring our orange yarn from back here. And let's pull yarn through this loop, and now I just want to tighten the black one. And we start round 4 with 2 chains, and then do a half double crochet into that same stitch here. Next, half double crochet once in each next 2. So 1 and 2, and into the third do 2 half double crochets. Again, once in next, once in the next, and twice into the third. So we increase in every third stitch. This way we're going to have 32 half double crochets around. 1, 2, and increase. And I'm going to again join this ring with a slip stitch into that second beginning chain. Our round 5, we're now going to do V stitches and half double crochets. So round 5 starts with a V stitch. The first one is going to be 3 chains. This counts as the first half double crochet and 1 chain, and then half double crochet into the same stitch here. And this is our first V stitch. Now into the next half double crochet. This one is sometimes hard to get because it's so close. So half double crochet once into each next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And next, again, we're gonna do V stitch. And now we do this way. Do a half double crochet, chain 1, and half double crochet into the same stitch. And now repeat 3 half double crochets, 1 in each next stitch, and V stitch. So this is half double crochet, chain, half double crochet into the same stitch. And repeat this all around. 1, 2, 3, another V stitch, I did my last half double crochet. We'll slip stitch into that second chain of beginning, and to keep count we have 8 V stitches around. So here's our first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. And I did my last 3 half double crochets. We'll slip stitch into the second beginning chain here. And now round 6, to start, we need to slip stitch into our first V stitch space here. So slip stitch in here and do a new V-stitch. Again, 3 chains for the first one and half double crochet into the same space. And now we need to half double crochet 5, 1 in each here. And the first one is a bit hard because that stitch is kind of underneath here, so I always kind of struggle with this one a little bit, but here it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's my next V-stitch. I'm going to V-stitch into that space. Half double crochet, chain, half double crochet. Again, 5 half double crochets. The first one underneath here, and 4 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, and next V-stitch. And keep doing this all around. And I finish this round again with a slip stitch into that second chain here we did for the V-stitch, the first V-stitch. And our round 7 is going to be black again. So here I have my black yarn on the back. This is optional. You are welcome to cut off the black yarn because it's going to be a wider gap between the orange and black rounds, and you can join it here. I feel okay to leave it here on the wrong side just to run here. So this is up to you. You can do either way. So I'm gonna bring my black yarn, pull it through my last orange loop. Now pull the orange tight. There. And into that same second chain we did the slip stitch, I'm gonna do my first black single crochet, and next one I'm gonna do into that V-stitch chain space. And next I'm actually going to skip this, the first hard one here. So this is good news. So I don't want to do this hard one in here. I'm gonna skip it and do my single crochet in the next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 stitches between each V-stitch. And the next I'm gonna do into that chain space of V-stitch. Again, skip this first one. It was hard to get to. Single crochet into the next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and next into the V-stitch space. So do this all around. Okay, so from the last V-stitch here I did 5 more single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and because I started with the first one in this group. And now I'm going to slip stitch into that first black stitch, and I also want to slip stitch into the next V-stitch one because the next round starts from here. So with my black loop on hook, I'm gonna insert hook into the next, and I will bring my orange yarn from the back and pull this through that stitch and black loop. and we can start round 8 with V-stitch again. So 3 chains and half double crochet into the same stitch here. And now do 6 half double crochets in each next stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're at the stitch where we have our V stitches with orange yarn. So in the next one we're gonna do our V stitch and continue with 6 half double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then again a V stitch and repeat this all around. And I will finish this round with slip stitch into that second chain of the first V stitch and start in round 9, slip stitch into the next V stitch, do the first one V stitch here, 3 chains, half double crochet, and now we need to do 8 half double crochets. It means we have to do that first hard one. So here 1 and then 7 more, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and V stitch into the next V stitch and repeat 8 half double crochets and V stitch. Finish the round with slip stitch into that second chain of the first V stitch, slip stitch into that chain space. Round 10, start with V stitch, 3 chains and half double crochet in same space. And now on this round again we will skip this first difficult one here and half double crochet into the next, and now do 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And here is our next V stitch. Do a V stitch in here, half double crochet, chain, half double crochet, skip the next stitch, this one, and start half double crochet into the next, do 9 and repeat all around, and finish the round with slip stitch into that second chain. And we're gonna do one more round with orange. Round 11, slip stitch into the V stitch, chain 3 for first V stitch, also half double crochet in same space, and here we have to do 11 half double crochets, so we need to also half double crochet in this first challenging one here. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and do the V-stitch in here. And repeat 11 half double crochets between each V-stitch. And again finish with a slip stitch into that second beginning chain, and round 12 we're gonna do black. So I'm gonna bring my black yarn from the back and pull it through my orange loop, and then pull the orange loop tight, and single crochet in the same stitch, and now single crochet into that first V-stitch space, and we now get to skip this difficult first stitch here and single crochet into the next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 here, and then next into the V-stitch space. Again, skip the first one here and do 12, and then next into the V-stitch space, and repeat all around. And again I did 11 single crochet stitches with black on this last part, because the first one I already made in the beginning of this round. So now I'm going to slip stitch into that first one, and like the on the other time here, I'm also going to slip stitch, insert my hook into that next one, because this is the one on the V-stitch. So insert hook, don't pull the black yarn through, but bring back your orange and pull that one through the stitch and loop. And we can start round 13. Again, start with V-stitch, so 3 chains and half double crochet in the same stitch, then do 12 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and here's our V-stitch here into the next. Let's do the next V-stitch, half double crochet, chain, half double crochet, and then repeat again to 12 half double crochets until the next V-stitch. And finish as before, slip stitch into the second beginning chain and slip stitch into the V-stitch, and now round 14 repeat, do the first V-stitch in here. Again we skip that first one and half double crochet into the next, and now do 13 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Then do the V-stitch in here and repeat this all around. And round 15, repeat, slip stitch into the first V-stitch, chain 3, half double crochet, skip that first stitch here, half double crochet into the next, do 14, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14, and now the next V-stitch in here. And then again skip this one and do 14 half double crochets. And round 16 now is gonna be the same. Slip stitch into the first V-stitch, chain 3, half double crochet, skip that first stitch here and half double crochet into the next and do 15, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, and V-stitch in here. And repeat, skip the first stitch, this one, and 15 half double crochets. And round 17, repeat, do the V-stitch here, skip this first stitch here, and half double crochet now 16 between each V-stitch. So finished my round 17, and 18 I'm gonna now do a black round. So bring my yarn from behind, pull it through the orange loop, tighten this one here, and then do your first single crochet in the same stitch, and next one in the V-stitch space, and then again as before, skip this first one here and single crochet in the next and do 17 single crochets between each V-stitch space. So in here we're gonna do our next, and then repeat this all around. And my last black single stitch, I will slip stitch into that first one, And like we did before, I want to get to this stitch, next stitch here, because this is the V stitch. So I'll insert my hook here, and then I'll pull through my orange yarn. So I can start my round 19 with a V stitch, 3 chains, and half double crochet into the same stitch, and then continue half double crochets to the first one in the next. And so on this round you'll do 17 half double crochets between each V stitches. And I'm going to crochet 5 more orange rounds, and I'm gonna do it just like these here, except the numbers of course increase. So the first one will have 17 half double crochets between each V stitch. The next round has 18, third round has 19, fourth round has 20, and the fifth round has 21 half double crochets. So let's do 5 more of these orange rounds, and then we can crochet the black edge. And I now have completed 23 rounds, and I'm done with the orange yarn, so I will cut it off and fasten off. And the last round, the edge, we're gonna do with our black yarn. And I'm going to insert my hook into that last chain space that we finished with, and pull my black yarn through and make a stitch. And then I'm going to find space right next to it, so the gap is not going to be too big. And notice we're going to go work this way to our right, not left as usual. So this is because it's called reverse single crochet stitch, and it's gonna make a very nice edge. So here I'm going to insert my hook into that next space right here. My hook comes out from here, then yarn over and pull it through. Pull both these stitches up here. You have 2 loops on hook. And now just do the single crochet. So this is the reverse single crochet stitch. Now insert your hook into that next space here, and you can keep your orange yarn tail here, so later on you can just cut it off, you don't have to weave it. Okay, so insert here, again yarn over in the back here, pull it through the stitch, the space. You have 2 loops on hook, and do the single crochet. And that's how I do my reverse single crochet stitch. Let's see, insert this way from the back, pull through the yarn, pull these 2 loops up here, and then pull through yarn through both loops. And I just continue this all around in each stitch. And when you reach your V stitch, you can just do the reverse single crochet in here in a space, and then continue into the next half double crochet. And I did my reverse stitches all around, and we'll now do my last ones here. One is in this V-stitch space, and the last is gonna be in that very beginning space here. And here we are going to cut the yarn and fasten off, and then you are going to, when you weave in your ends, just pull this last stitch backwards like this, and then start weaving between these stitches here, so that last finishing knot will be back here and not showing. So this is how it's gonna look the most even. The very last thing to do is now we're going to crochet the spiderweb stripes, and we start them from up here and work our way through to the middle. And this can be a little bit challenging, and it took me a little bit of time to figure this out, the best way to do it, but it is doable. So let's see. Let's start with slip knot. And now I'm going to take it off my hook. I'm gonna insert my hook through this hole here, right beneath that reverse stitch here, and pull my slip knot through this hole here. Next, I'm gonna reach over, yarn over, and then pull through and make this stitch here. So now I have joined my black yarn to make the first stripe. Then I'm going to turn this around because it's going to be a little bit easier to work this way. Okay, and you can find the best position, what works best for you. So maybe the flat surface could be the easiest. Okay, so here we are. So I still have the loop on hook. I'll keep my yarn on this side. I still have the loop on hook, and I'm gonna insert my hook through this V stitch here on that next round, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through the space, and at the same time also pull through the black loop on hook. So essentially we're doing slip stitches on the surface of this, on the surface, and stitching into the V stitch spaces. Okay, so next one. Insert hook through this next V stitch space here, pull yarn through it and also through the loop, and keep these loops big enough, not tight, so that they will not tighten our table mat too much. To next, insert hook here, pull your yarn through from up all the way down, again up, and also through the loop on hook. Here's our next loop. Again, insert hook here, pull your yarn all the way from beneath and also through the loop. And next one. So here I'm going to have some black strands from that black round that I pull it through. Pull through, and also the loop on hook. Let's see. And the next stitch, I'm going to insert my hook through here, so it's again through the black stitch, pull it through, and also through the loop. Now I continue as before through these V-stitch spaces here. And I reached the middle. My last stitch is going to, the hook is going to come out the middle hole. Pull your yarn through as before, through the loop. And I'm going to cut off my yarn here. So what I do is now I'm gonna fasten off, and I will end this by inserting my hook. Turn your work around, insert your hook through the middle hole and pull this yarn tail through to the wrong side. And you can pull it a little bit tighter as well. So yes, that means when you're all done, you have quite a lot of tails to weave in. All the ones up here, and then 8 down here, also the middle one here, and the beginning black. So that's okay. So now keep doing this. You're gonna have 8 of these stripes. You start the next one up here and do all the 8 stripes the same way. And here is my finished spider web Tablemat. So I finished all these 8 stripes and I weaved in all the ends. It looks good on the other side. And I blocked it. It definitely helps to give this nice shape. And I will again add written pattern on my website. Let me know if you have any questions. And happy crocheting! Happy Halloween!